tips and stuff I thought someone had told me that I'm now telling you. Da, 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 da. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we are going to talk about menstrual cups and I'm going to give you some tips that I really wished someone had given me. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. We're going to talk about menstrual cups and just generally how to go about it, and these are some really useful tips that I use every time I'm on my period, and hopefully that will help you. The reason why I'm talking about menstrual cups, and I have been talking about them on this channel for quite some time. I have several other videos with reviews and tips and guides and story times and what else. But the reason why we're talking about them is because a large portion of my demographic, of my subscribers, are people who menstruate. During a period, you produce a lot of waste, like seriously, a lot of waste. You also spend an insane amount of money on something that you can easily avoid. So that's why I think talking about menstrual cups and getting people into them is really, really important, both for the planet, but also for yourself. So let's do this, yo. Also, if you are interested in hearing more about like how I got into the menstrual cup and what I did and like my first experience with it and how to go about it if you're a beginner, watch that video. I will leave it down below so you can just go and check that out. So this thing I never really thought too much about, but I can see how it's like a massive thing and possibly even why some people get turned off by the menstrual cup. Because menstrual cups are made of silicone, and that silicone, depending on the product, can be either really, really soft or quite firm. For instance, if you're leading a very active lifestyle, also whilst on your period, it can be really beneficial to find a soft silicone cup because it moves better with the body than a firmer silicone cup would. So that's sort of something I know for a fact. I have sort of felt on my body that my period become a lot more comfortable if I'm wearing a softer cup when I'm working out. I hope it makes sense. To show you what a soft silicone cup looks like, it looks like this. It folds very, very easily. The walls are also kind of thin. You can get them where they're twice this size or twice this thick actually. And they can be very, very good as well, especially if you have a heavy flow. That's something that works really well. This is a little bit firmer. As you can see, it doesn't squeeze as easily as this one. I hope this makes sense. So this next thing is something you have to pay attention to because I learned this the hard way, trust me. Around the edges of a menstrual cup, there are usually, not always, but usually, small holes all the way around it. And sometimes, like for instance in this organic cup, you can see them quite clearly. And in a ruby cup like this, you cannot see them as easily, so most likely you won't be even pay attention to them. But they're really, really important. So because when you insert the cup, through your favorite folding method of choice, you insert it and it unfolds or it sits like this or whatever. Like people are built differently. It doesn't have necessarily to pop. It doesn't always do that. But the tiny holes make sure that the vacuum is in place, which will make you not bleed through everything. And if you're, for instance, because I've had this happen to me quite some times, if you are in a public bathroom, for instance, and you want this to be over quickly, you want to change like the cup, you want to empty it and then put it in, and once you like, this needs to happen fast. And sometimes a little bit of blood or a little bit of residue stuck inside these holes, then the cup won't be as effective. So you need to get those totally clear. And you can do that either by using a tissue. Sometimes if it's a little difficult, trigger warning, TMI coming up, I like to blow, like, and the residue or the blood or whatever will simply pop out. But it's really, really important. So if your cup has tiny holes, make sure they are always cleared out because that will make the cup so much better and work like a million times better. Just let me tell you right now. Okay. So I did not know this next thing, and because of that, my first cup bears a significant witness to that. When you take the cup out, you want to rinse it in cold water because that way it won't stain as easily. But staining is a weird thing because it's 100% natural. There's nothing wrong with the cup because it's stained. It's super clean because the silicone gets clean. It's purely cosmetic, but it can turn some people off, and it's very hard to talk about and show people your menstrual cup if it's all stained and whatnot. So yeah, rinse it in cold water, and once the blood is out of the way, you can rinse it in hot water if you're about to reinsert it. It can be a little bit more comfortable to insert it when it's a little bit warmer. But if you use a ruby cup like this one that I just recently got, I think a few months ago, so I have been using it like 2 times at this point, this is black, yo. And not only does this cater to my inner like gothic emo child soul, which it does, but it's also very, very hard to see any stains on this, which is very, very clever, and I love this. If you're more interested in ruby cups like this one, I have an affiliate link down below. I did partner up with them some time ago, but this video is not sponsored or anything. I just have this affiliate link and I just thought I wanted to include it because Ruby Cup, let me tell you guys, they donate a menstrual cup whenever you buy a menstrual cup, and I love that idea. So generally just a really wholesome and lovely company to support, which is why they are in this video also, sort of. The same with Organic Cup. I don't have an affiliate link for that, but I will also leave that down below if you're more interested in this cup. So yes, but rinse in cold water always. So that sort of just gave me like a nice sort of slide into my fourth just tip thing, which I already think I sort of mentioned, but staining is natural, and a stained cup does not necessarily mean that it's dirty or that it's ruined. You can use a stained cup completely safely. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just purely cosmetic. I get why some people enjoy not stained things, but I still use my first cup even though it's stained because it's literally fine. So just wanted to get that heads up as well. Your cup is not ruined because it's stained. Good, good, good. So number 5 is something that I want to stress so much because it's important, yo. Beware of the vacuum. Because as I said before, it's with the small tiny holes, when you insert the cup through favorite folding method of choice and it unfolds, it creates a vacuum. And whenever you have to take the cup out, it can be quite tricky to do that comfortably. Because the first time I did it, like the first time ever I had to remove the cup, it hurt so bad because I didn't know what to do with the vacuum. What I like to do is just get a grip around like the bowl of the cup, like the end of the cup, not the stem, but like the bowl of the cup, and just release a little bit of pressure because that makes it so much more comfortable to take out in general. Just a little bit of pressure, and then you can sort of hear like the air is sipping out of it, and then you can take it out without the additional pop, because that's what's going to happen if you pull it out with the vacuum in it. It's going to pop. Possibly on your outer labia. It's not necessarily like a pleasurable experience, so don't. Also, in context of the vacuum and the removal of the cup in general, I would also like to point out that just pulling it out or removing it through the stem is not necessarily the best idea. What I like to do is I like to find and get a grip around the stem, which is nice because that's usually the part you can hold the most easily. But when I pull it a little, as soon as I can get a hold on the end of the cup itself, I pull from that because that's so much more comfortable, and it makes it like a million times easier to remove actually, because you can use more like finger strength like this. Also, if you think the stem is too long, sometimes they're even longer than this actually, remember that it's meant to be altered to you to fit your exact body. So there's nothing wrong with simply cutting a single or even 2 of these small snips. Okay, so this thing kind of surprised me actually, but I mean, I guess I knew, but I haven't found a way of applying it. So I hope this works for you. So sort of hard to like guide people or give tips if they have the idea that it simply does not work for them, because you don't want to pressure other people. And I can only say, like, my first time using menstrual cup was absolutely traumatizing and terrible, but I made it work anyway. Did you know that your cervix moves depending on where you are in your cycle? And that's extremely important when choosing a menstrual cup. Some people have a short cervix during their period, and some people have a longer cervix during their period. So if the first cup you try is kind of long, like this would, for instance, be like quite a long cup, and your cervix is kind of short during your period, that's going to feel insanely uncomfortable. On the other hand, if you're using a small cup and your cervix is high, then it will most likely overflow and not be as effective, and that's going to be like also kind of a non-positive experience with the menstrual cup. And a lot of people will be turned off by that, which makes total sense because bodies are super, super different. But knowing exactly where your cervix places itself during your period can actually help you have a more successful experience with the menstrual cup. Last thing that I want to just throw it out there just super quickly. This video is like all TMI, you guys, and it's fine. If you clicked on this and you're surprised by the fact I'm talking about like body yada yada, then it's on you. Seriously, honey, it's on you. But the last thing is, it can be really hard to have a bowel movement with a cup in. And what I usually do is that I take it out no matter how full or empty it is, because it's very uncomfortable with the pressure, because the pressure is on like the general area and it's going to push your cup out. Yeah, some toilets have automatic flushes, and I would just hate it if I lost my cup because it popped out during a bowel movement. So it's a good idea, generally. Yes. So yeah, I hope that this made any sort of sense. If you're thinking about getting a menstrual cup, you can watch all my other videos as well, and I hope they will give you like a good impression of how to go about it and why and where and which one, and there are tons of questions, and I hope that I can help you answer all of them. So yeah, if you want to check out more about these cups, I have left links down below, both to the Ruby cup and to the organic cup and to all the other cups that I have tried doing my review YouTube life. And I will also leave a link to my first experience story time video, because I hope that can help someone as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm gonna go now. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!